second main set of statements. Official opposition leader.
Premier, those sole source contracting that you're talking about, half of your front bench allowed them. In a radio interview, the Premier said he is fully committed to keeping every promise he made in the PC leadership rate. In the summer, he promised no tax increases. Since then, he's talked about every kind of tax he can think of. A sugar tax, a higher gas tax, higher income tax, sales tax, higher health tax, more sin tax, and higher user fees for just about everything. It's hurting the economy, Premier, and it's the latest example of the Premier pinning the blame on Albertans. Premier, there's still a chance you can keep your...
The Honourable Premier to respond.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I've never at any time suggested that Albertans are responsible for a collapse in oil prices that has resulted in a $7 billion hole in the provincial government's revenue base, Mr. Speaker. The real question is what to do about it, Mr. Speaker, if I might continue. The real question is what to do about it. In a measured, balanced way. The Minister of Finance will be introducing to this legislative assembly a budget that is more than just a budget. It will be a fiscal plan for the next 10 years of how we will manage this circumstance. The real question, Mr. Speaker, of the opposition is what do they intend to do about it? How do they intend to proceed? What do they have to say, Mr. Speaker?
Thank you. Honourable member.
Premier, you can't call an election on the price of oil and gas. Do you know how many elections you'd be in? It's no wonder Albertans don't trust this government. It's obvious the Premier's tax talk is hurting economic investment. In October, he said it's time to wind down the government's $2 billion committed to carbon capture. But 2 weeks ago, he expanded the program to 5 years. We estimate ending this type of corporate handouts will save over $1 billion in the next year alone. Why is the Premier insisting on spending billions of dollars in corporate handouts while threatening job-killing tax hikes on Albertans?
Here's one idea. Honourable Premier.
Well, again, Mr. Speaker, we will put forward, the Minister of Finance will put forward a very detailed, comprehensive fiscal plan of how in a measured and balanced way we will deal with the revenue shortfall that the government faces, how we will maintain quality services, frontline services, health care, education, senior citizen care, and other frontline services are extremely important to Albertans. How we maintain those services in the circumstances which we're in, Mr. Speaker, will require careful thought. It will require balance. I hope that the member opposite and her party have some concrete, specific ideas other than slashing and burning their way through the government, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Final supplemental for this set.
Well, Premier, I've already given you one idea.
Yeah,
Stay tuned for the rest. It's no secret Albertans are heading towards a very expensive, unnecessary, and quite frankly, an illegal election. And while the Premier better be careful about what he wishes for, it's just another example of a broken promise he made to Albertans. The legislation is designed to be a contract between Albertans and the government. Premier, you are breaking this contract by threatening to call an election. Premier, are you going to honour that contract you have with Albertans? If not, will you tell Albertans today when you're going to call the election?
Honourable Premier.
Well, the honourable member knows full well that the legislation in question allows the Lieutenant Governor to call an election at another date. And, Mr. Speaker, in light of the financial circumstances that this province is in, circumstances that I think are without parallel really in a generation in terms of a collapse, a precipitous collapse of our revenue by $7 billion, a $7 billion shortfall this year, $6 billion in the year after that, a structural deficit thereafter, if we do nothing. These are significant circumstances. Albertans need to have their say, Mr. Speaker. No decisions have been made relative to elections, but we will press on and table a fiscal plan in this chamber.